In a bustling city there lived a humble shoemaker. He had a small shop near his house where he crafted shoes with great dedication. Whatever little money he earned from selling his handmade shoes, he used to support his family. However, over time, fewer people came to buy his shoes. As a result, he had to sell them at lower prices, and soon all his savings were gone. Things got so bad that he had to sell his wife's jewelry just to run the household. Seeing him worried, his wife always reassured him, "Have faith in God. Everything will be fine. He will surely help us." Though he smiled at her words, deep down, he was filled with anxiety. One day, he had only one last pair of shoes left in his shop. He had no money to buy more material to make new ones. Days passed, but no one came to buy them. Desperate, he took the shoes to the market, where he finally sold them. With the money he earned, he bought some basic household essentials and started walking home. On his way, he saw an old woman, frail, hungry, and shivering. His heart ached for her, and without hesitation, he gave her some money. Now he had no money left to buy materials for making new shoes. Feeling hopeless, he returned to his shop, where he noticed a small leftover piece of leather. It was just enough to make one pair of shoes. He cut the leather and decided to finish making them the next day. The next morning, when he entered his shop, he was stunned. Instead of the cut leather, he found a beautifully crafted pair of shoes sitting on his workbench. They were unlike anything he had ever made, perfectly stitched, elegant, and exquisite. Curious but grateful, he took them to the market, where they sold for a great price. Overjoyed, he bought some food for the needy with a portion of the money and used the rest to buy more leather. That night, he cut enough leather to make 2 pairs of shoes and left it on his workbench before going home. To his amazement, the next morning, there were 2 beautifully crafted pairs of shoes waiting for him. He shared this strange yet wonderful experience with his wife. "See, I told you God would help us," she said with a smile. "Someone kind-hearted is doing this for us." Night after night, this miracle continued. The shoemaker's business flourished, and he finally regained financial stability. One evening, his wife suggested, "We should find out who is helping us. Let's stay in the shop overnight and see who these mysterious helpers are." So the shoemaker and his wife hid in a corner of the shop that night. At midnight, they saw something incredible. 3 tiny elves sneaked in through the window and joyfully began working on the shoes. Their hands moved swiftly, and by morning, they had created the most beautiful shoes once again. Then, they disappeared into the night. The shoemaker was overwhelmed with gratitude. "They have helped us so much. We must do something for them in return." His wife observed, "Did you notice? Their clothes and shoes were old and worn out. Why don't we make something for them?" So, she sewed tiny new clothes, and the shoemaker made little shoes for the elves. That night, instead of leaving leather for shoes, they placed the clothes and shoes in the shop and hid again to watch. At midnight, the elves arrived as usual, but instead of leather, they found their new clothes and shoes. They clapped with joy, put them on, and danced around excitedly. Then, with happy hearts, they disappeared, never to return. From that day on, the shoemaker no longer found magically made shoes in his shop. However, he had learned valuable skills and understood what people liked. With his hard work, he crafted beautiful shoes that became very popular in the market. His business thrived, and he lived a happy, content life. Kindness has a way of coming back when you least expect it. The shoemaker, despite his struggles, helped the poor old woman without expecting anything in return. In turn, he received unexpected help from the elves. However, true success comes when we take what we have learned and apply it ourselves. Instead of becoming dependent, the shoemaker learned from his mysterious helpers, refined his craft, and built a successful future with his own hard work. This story teaches us that faith, generosity, and perseverance lead to lasting success.